Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Speedify Live Office Hours, last stream of the year. Woo! I'm Alex. This is Brian.
Hello.
And we're some people who made Speedify. So if you have questions about Speedify, get out your trusty keyboard and in the comments, just type it. Either YouTube or Twitch. We will see them and we will put them on. We will answer them. But barring that, we're just going to talk about ourselves today and everything that happened in this year. So our producer, Bonna, said that we could wear ugly sweaters today, and I missed the message. So I showed up in my best sweater. And, it's a pity because I got some ugly sweaters. You guys can't even imagine. So hi, everybody. I see your comments. I'm not going to say hi to everyone who's saying hi, but, Babs Playtimes. I see you guys. And it is good to see you. So, Speedify, we are having the best sale of the year. Go to speedify.com. That is the only place you can get it. Right there on the homepage, or click store if you don't see it. We've got the season savings. A bunch of plans are 80% off. Go for a 3-year plan, and the savings are crazy. So check that out. If you haven't bought Speedify yet, this is the time. All right. It's not an ugly sweater. It's peanuts. That's what I said. All right. So what happened this year? Maybe we go to some of the members of the team first.
Yeah.
And see what they think. Oh, someone forgot his holiday tie. It's on the doorknob, Brian.
Okay. All right.
All right. So let's see what happens here. So if I press this button, oh my God! It's Kevin! All right. Hey, Kevin.
There you go. Now I'm muted. Hi, guys.
All right.
There we go.
So Kevin obviously is the lead developer of Speedify. He is the guy in charge of pretty much all the code that goes into the app itself. So tell me about 2025, Kevin. Any highlights?
Yeah. So, there was a lot. Looking back over everything we did this year, is surprising how much we did. But yeah, one of the main focuses for this past year was routers and supporting OpenWRT. We introduced some of that last year, but we've continued to make the experience a lot better for routers throughout the year. We've been expanding what devices we support, making the performance a lot better, and just the user experience in general, fixing up little issues. So, we support a bunch of GLINet devices, as well as other devices running OpenWRT. And then the Miri X510, kind of rugged streaming professional router. Do you have one you can hold up, Alex? Is it there in the studio?
Oh, yeah. Routers.
Yeah, so really cool router. Has all sorts of Ethernet ports and 2 SIM slots for 4G and 5G.
I got like Vanna White it.
So yeah, it was really exciting to support that router. So it comes with Speedify running on it, and yeah, it's a really cool device. Gives you lots of different connections. But yeah, in terms of improving performance on routers, we've made a lot of different tweaks for bonding performance, everything. But one of the big features was the performance enhancing proxy, the PEP for routers, and that significantly improves the speed of client devices coming through the router, especially on some of these.
So what is a PEP? Tell us about that, Kevin.
Yeah. So it basically intercepts the connections coming into the router and kind of splits up the stream. Normally when a device would come through Speedify, it comes through the router and you get these smaller packets coming in over the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet. And then Speedify sends them out, and so it makes Speedify a lot less efficient. So now Speedify, as the traffic's coming in from the client device, intercepts that connection for TCP connections. So it can talk, full speed between the client device and the router, and then, full speed over the tunnel. Kind of splits it up a little bit and, improves performance a lot. And then it also has some improvements for bonding. as well, especially high latency connections and things like that, because we're not handling as many of the TCP/X over the tunnel. So a lot of good performance improvements there. But then, yeah, looking back at some of the other things that we did. So beginning of the year, we had released a brand new updated Mac build. Some of the things that we'd done years ago were showing their age with the Mac build. And so we had a complete overhaul where we support the system extension and do things kind of the modern way with Mac OS, and really improve the user experience on Mac. So we made that a lot better. That was back in January. And then, yeah, a bunch of the other features that we've released over the year. We released a load balancing mode in addition to the VPN mode. So this allows you to just, if you have multiple connections, just split out different sockets over different connections, without the VPN tunnel, without the VPN server. So this is good if you have something that's opening a lot of sockets. So yeah, that was a new feature that we added into Speedify, so you can switch between VPN mode and load balancing mode. We added a jitter buffer for streaming, so this adds a fixed amount of delay for your streams. So this can help handle loss or extra latency over your connections and help keep your stream coming through at a consistent bit rate, consistent delay. We added the ability for custom bypass rules in the UI. That's something people have been asking for a lot. We had some hard.
We really did do a lot this year, didn't we?
Yeah.
This is all this year. Holy cow.
Yeah.
What were we selling last
Starlink
year?
statistics was another one. We now pull statistics directly from the Starlink routers and display them in the Speedify UI. A lot of people have said that's very, very useful for them. Getting different alerts if things are going on with their Starlink. We're seeing the performance metrics from it. Let's see what else we did that's interesting. Single connection speed tests. So now, in addition to testing all your connections at once over Speedify, for diagnostic purposes, you can tell Speedify to test a particular connection, and it'll run the test over that without having to disconnect things or juggle around priorities or things like that you had to do in the past. Yeah, and a lot more. I don't want to take up all of our time, but yeah, we've had a lot of different features that we've added, a lot of improvements we've had to performance and bonding behavior, and yeah, a lot of interesting, cool things that we do with Speedify.
It's funny because sometimes I feel like time's flying by, and how can the year be over? It's been so short, but I guess having talked to you, I guess it wasn't short at all. We developed and shipped a ton of software this year.
Yeah.
And by we, I mostly mean you.
No, I got a good team that helps out, is pulling a lot of the weight there.
Yeah. All right, that was awesome. All right, so you have any big plans for next year?
I don't know. We're still figuring that out. I mean, there's still some more stuff we want to do with the routers to tie up some of the experience stuff there and improve performance more. But yeah, we're still talking about what are the big things that we want to do next year. So not entirely sure yet. But we got a bunch of potential options that we have on the list.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Kevin. I'm going to let you go, and I will bother the next person. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Merry Christmas.
Yep. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Oof, that was a little abrupt. I cut him off a little harder than I meant to. My apologies, Kevin. All right. So that was cool. Let us see what Scott is up to. Woo! It's Scott. I make guess. No, that didn't work. All right, let's try this button. What does that do? All right, that works.
Great.
I'm just hitting buttons here. It's eCam. It's so easy, even Alex can do it eventually. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing great.
So Scott is our creative director, and he's both in charge of a lot of the marketing stuff as well as a lot of the user interface stuff. So how was your year, Scott?
Yeah, we had a good year. Yeah, we kind of sit in the layer between the customer and the developers, and we do a lot of a lot of miscellaneous things. But yeah, one of our big focuses this year was on video. And so if you've been watching our YouTube channel or our socials, I'm sure you probably saw a bunch of new faces, myself included. We've really been trying to sort of working closely with the support team, really add informative video content to all of our knowledge base articles, and just really make it easier to use the app and use the software and know about the settings and set everything up exactly how you want it to be. We also worked closely with we have some video partners by the name of Remade, and we worked on a new How Speedify Works video that you can actually view right now on our features page. That's really cool. It's probably 10 minutes. I think it's about 10 minutes long. And Alex does the narration there. Yeah, it's really cool, and it goes really in depth into how the software works, how the channel bonding technology works. Gets into pair and share.
It's crazy how much work went into that video.
Yeah. Yep.
Now you guys have to watch it.
Please watch it. But yeah, like I said, we did a ton of work just to sort of reinforce a lot of the other content that we was blog posts and KB articles, just to make things clearer and easier to use.
Nice. So Chad is wondering what is going on with your shirt. They can't see enough of it. There you go.
It's the Queen of Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah, and then on sort of the software and customer experience side, the bulk of our time this year was spent sort of helping out with the router effort, as well as designing new experiences around managing licenses, managing dedicated servers, managing router licenses. So sort of the back end side of things, just about getting the software.
Speedify.com, and this is really the two of you, right? It is becoming a place worth visiting. Right? It used to just be the place where you went to cancel your subscription. But now there's all sorts of stats and info about all of your devices and stuff.
Yep.
It's become kind of interesting. I think
there's a whole new statistics
if you haven't. MySpeedify.com, and you log in with your Speedify login or your Gmail account or whatever. It's pretty nice. So you got big plans for next year, Scott?
So always video is an ongoing project. There's always more to do there. We are in the midst of doing a big website refresh, which you'll see in the first month or two of 2026. But yeah, we're excited.
So I like the videos. Apparently the audience likes the videos. I'm sure where you guys do where it's Brian and I talking. It's funny to me. People watch them. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Brian? What was your favorite video this year?
Let's see. The one about the value of IPs, of IP addresses, is the one that people I know sent me this, like, is this you? Like, yep, that's me. So, I don't know. That was a fun one.
So my son's in college, and he came to me and he's like, I hate it when people come and they've got a video of you on my phone. And they're like, is this your dad? He's like, can you just stop making videos till I graduate? And I'm like, no, I cannot. Sorry for ruining your life, son. But I'm not sorry.
Yeah, ton of credit to Ryan and Bana for helping moderate those and helping develop those.
Yeah. They're too busy running around in the background making this stream happen to appear on. But oh my gosh, let me see if this is gonna work. I want to show you something crazy. So this is Speedify right now for this live stream. Oh, we're down to 2. All right. Oh, for a while it was showing the guests, but they're not showing now. All right, you see that the traffic dropped. I guess it figured out it could go around Speedify because you were actually in the office. Scott's like 6 feet behind this glowing logo. He's just sitting in the next room. But yeah, for a while, yeah, you see the graph there was, we were sending 26 megabits through 5 live streams at the same time for a while. Now we're just down to 2 over 3 internet connections. Boring, just the usual. All right. Anything else for Scott?
I don't think so. Thanks, Scott.
All right.
Guys,
Who do you
happy
think we
holidays.
should go to next?
Let's see what Michael's up to.
All right. All right. Thank you, Scott. I'm going to let you go. Seems like the way I cut people off, it seems very abrupt, but goodbye. Oh. All right. So, Michael. So now I click this button. Woo! Holy cow, worked in one click.
All right.
That's incredible.
Michael's still muted. Hey, Michael.
Hello,
So,
hello.
there we go. Hey, what's up?
All right.
Not much. How you guys doing today?
We're good. We're just thinking about this last year at Speedify. Kevin sort of stunned us. He listed all the things we added to Speedify this year.
Yeah, he
Let's just
did
go
everything.
on and on.
I mean, he mentioned a couple things that have been really exciting for me. I mean, the Starlink messages where you have parties that are using multiple Starlinks, and so they can see alerts from every dish they have instead of kind of logging in independently, which is pretty awesome. That combined with the performance enhancing proxy, like just seeing WAN capabilities go beyond even WireGuard speeds, where it's 4 to 6 times faster, is just awesome when you're doing multi-WAN bonding.
Yeah. And I think the whole powered by Speedify, as a brand, right? I mean, Kevin was also mentioning the Miri X510. Straighten these antennas, right? The first router shipping with Speedify built in. Look at that. You got the logo. You got the powered by. Woo. So sexy.
Yeah, we have some really awesome use cases for it as well. Parties
like what?
Using multiple Starlinks to ingest, video from job sites and post-process it with AI and cloud, and then send it back down for job site safety awareness. Like, it's pretty wild what people are accomplishing these days.
Yeah. Nice. So what are your big plans for next year?
More powered by Speedify.
Nothing that won't interest the people in the audience too much that I'm excited about too is implementing a better system for keeping track of our customers and sales leads.
Yep.
I guess a CRM. Right now there's just sort of an Asana to-do list on people to follow up with. And I think people like the personal touch that doesn't feel like you're talking to a machine when you talk to us. On the other hand, we should be a little more organized.
Yeah. You can certainly tell at times when it's just a automated follow-up versus a normal communication. So, but having those powerful tools that come with a CRM will be a nice addition.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Somebody's asking about the limitations on a Speedify install on my GLINet 3000AX when I use less than 150 gigabytes per month. So you're missing some letters there because almost all the GLINets have a 3000AX somewhere in their name. But the main answer is usually reliability, right? It can sometimes give you a speed boost, but a lot of times for people with GLINets, they're just trying to stay online in this crazy place, right? You join the hotel Wi-Fi and you tether your phone. And, perhaps there's a Starlink. There's only so many Ethernet ports on these things, right? Some have 3, and that is so much better than the ones that have 2, right? Because then you can have 2 Ethernet connections, a Wi-Fi, a USB. And you're starting to have real connections. But anytime you just get to 2 connections, right? So when that main internet goes out, you're instantly on your cellular. That is the big improvement, right? We made the name Speedify because, we were like, combine all connections, get faster speeds. But, the truth is, people like Michael obsess about speed tests. Actually, both these guys now have put in multi-gigabit fiber into their houses.
It's so we ensure Kevin has plenty to do.
Yep. Exactly.
That's right. Go faster, Kevin. Faster. But I think most of the time for most people, getting 25 megabits is good enough that you won't notice a problem. But even that's hard, right? People kick out cables. Your satellite provider switches satellites. It rains, all this stuff, and sometimes it'll be really hard to get 25 megabits. So in my house, I just have 1 gig fiber. And my goal is 200 megabits everywhere on my property. Right, so I'm not worried about multi-gigabit. I'm up there with a laptop in my attic, in my basement, in the backyard, sitting on the toilet, making sure I can get 200 megabits everywhere in the house. And that's good enough. So that's where I'm at. I'm a satis. I don't know what the word is. Just trying to make sure I'm good enough.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not going for the gold.
No, it's having stability and consistency goes a much further distance than just raw speed at times. So it's the better way to be.
All right, Ryan's got a question for you guys. What are the craziest things that Powered by Speedify can power?
The hunt for alien life.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk about that later. SETI. We've been talking about the hunt for extraterrestrial life a lot around the office these days. Maybe we'll babble about it at the end.
I mean,
so there are a bunch of video devices that have it built in now, like Magewell's Director Mini. So it's like a whole studio in a box. It's kind of a neat device. You can plug in HDMI cameras, USB cameras, and then you can plug in Ethernet. It can join Wi-Fi. You can put in a USB cellular device, and it runs the whole studio. You can do the overlays and change scenes right on it. Yeah, that's a pretty neat device, but it's not that crazy.
Yeah, the TV devices, the Android TV devices and stuff, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And once you get in, the router stuff, really, the OpenWRT land, and I think now with the upcoming 16.2 release, I think is the first time we're going to publicly release tarballs for Linux, which opens up to all sorts of weird things. Before you could pull the binaries, you could grab the .deb package and pull the binaries out and put them somewhere, but now it's sort of a first-class citizen.
Yocto's in the house.
Just a zip file of the binary. So yeah. That sort of opens up to everything from the very weird, postage stamp size thing to the 2U, rack mount thing with a bunch of 40 gigabit internet, like Ethernet. It's the range on that gets kind of silly. So that's exciting.
Or very large bespoke devices on airplanes and trains and
and yachts.
Race cars.
So I hear a lot of celebrity tour buses these days. The big buses that the celebrities take when they go into the concert. A lot of them now have Speedify routers in them. Of course, they have. J-Lo has no idea that she has used Speedify, but she has. I have it on the highest authority.
And neither does Pat McAfee for our football streams.
Very exciting. All right, so what are you looking forward for next year?
There's too much. Fresh start, new year. I'm looking to hit the ground running. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right.
All right. That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Mike. I think now we'll go on to the other Mike who seems to be waiting.
Thanks, Michael.
Thanks,
Bye.
Michael. Bye-bye. All right. So press this button maybe. Woo!
Hey, Mike.
Holy cow. Hey, Mike.
How you guys doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yep.
hear you fine. Cool.
Fantastic.
We're just talking to other Mike.
Yeah, great show so far, guys.
Oh, the other thing we achieved this year, we're now up to 3 Alexes, 2 Mikes,
Yeah.
2 Brians. What is wrong with us?
I love it. Keep the trend.
There's so much to be said for giving your kid a slightly interesting name and not going with what everyone else is doing, right? Man. Yeah. A whole bunch of Ryans hanging around the office.
That's true too.
It's awful. I kid. So how was your year, Mike? Tell us what you do here.
Well, so yeah, I'm on the app team, but I also do a good portion of QA with the other team as well. So a couple of our QA guys aren't here today, so I really want to say, thank you to Danilo. He was a huge help in QA this year. So yeah, so wanted to talk to you a little bit about the QA team. So we're not just finding bugs, we're bringing ideas to the app team. We're thinking about how users actually use this stuff, and we're trying to catch things even before they hit production. So, without, Danilo and especially Voicelove, we haven't spoken to yet, constantly giving feedback to the dev team, the quality of our software wouldn't even be possible. So where are we in 2025? First, I really wanted to bring the attention to the crashes. If you've been using the Speedify client apps, you probably have noticed things have gotten a lot more stable. So working with the app team, we've gotten the crash rates down to basically 0. And I don't mean low, I mean we're seeing near 0 crashes in production. And that didn't happen by accident. So it's been months of digging into these stack traces, reproducing weird edge cases, listening to tickets coming in to support, and just being really disciplined about not shipping well until things have been solid. And we've been really good about shipping things when they aren't solid really quickly. So huge improvements in 2025 there. Second, as Kevin alluded to, and Michael and everybody else, router testing. There's been a huge grind for router testing, but it's been a huge difference and it matters. So we've been systematically testing Speedify across dozens of router devices, everything from OpenWRT to MiriOS. So different chipsets, different firmware versions, different network configs, because the reality is people aren't just running Speedify in a lab like we do here. They're running it on whatever router they bought 3 years ago, and we have to test on those things. We have to know what the speeds are and what the capabilities are. So, huge shout out to the team for that. And third, I don't think anybody's talked about this, but AI. We're using AI a lot in some of these cases. So speaking to Claude, speaking to ChatGPT, explaining what the use case is, and kind of getting a manual or a script back about different avenues that we might not have explored or had the time to explore without having the checklist go down. So we're not replacing manual testing at all. We're just augmenting it. So we'll feed the feature or the spec doc and kind of get some feedback for us as testers to what some use cases could be, because we use our computers how we use them and our routers how we use them, and getting some different ideas is really useful. So it's caught stuff we would have missed. It's not magic, but it's a real force for our small team. So yeah.
So last night my web browser popped up and said, Chrome now supports MCP for developers, so you can connect Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini directly into your browser. So then I spent an hour. I could not get it to work. I had Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini all giving me advice on files to create and where to put them, and none of them worked for any of them, which has been pretty much my MCP experience.
I'm not a huge fan, but it's making progress.
I assume that'll just get fixed one of these days, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that you would say this is terrible, let the AI actually see the terrible thing it did is seems like would be really helpful to close the loop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Neat. I feel like I thought of something else. What else is going on? What you got for Mike?
As far as QA, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think we'll be pushing towards higher speeds in the upcoming year. I mean, we sort of mentioned earlier that we have more multi-gigabit stuff, but yeah, we want to test 10 gig routers, see what they can do.
Yeah, working on every device has some tricky issues for us, right? You guys both know, right? Because you can do totally the best way to do it from a certain point of view is to do this really cross-platform, C++ that uses a lot of code out of Chrome because they got their stuff to already work all these places, and just make it the same for everyone. So when you roll out a new operating system, you know that 95% of the code is already tested because it's the same as Linux, or it's the same as Windows, or it's the same as Mac, right? You're using the exact same code you tested somewhere else. But all these operating systems, most obviously all the Apple ones and OpenWRT, they've got their own ways of doing things. And if you don't do them, then you're this weird alien thing.
Yep.
I don't know. Thoughts on that, guys? Which way should we go, right? As soon as an operating system seems important, I guess.
Yeah, just got to make it a, sort of a first-class citizen, right? You got to just do it the OpenWRT way and make sure it plugs in, because I mean, if you do something weird, people are going to come in with their config, and we're just going to stomp on everything they tried to set up. So yeah, just need to do things the right way for whatever platform we support. Right.
Yep, make it accessible for everybody.
Alan got back. He says he's on a Barrel. Yeah, so Barrel, nice little travel router, but it's only 2 Ethernet ports. It's actually, I've got one hooked up on my desk in the other room right now.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for 150 gigs a month, assuming that's you're kind of averaging 5 gigs a day and spreading things out, that should be fine. I think the Barrel, I mean, its Wi-Fi is not the fastest in the world, but it's plenty if your goal is 5 gigs a day. It's plenty for that. But yeah, I think it's a capable device. I think the limitations on Speedify would just be, I mean, kind of the speed of that Wi-Fi and how many Ethernet connections it has.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, getting additional connections with parent share to it and stuff, that is.
Oh, parent share! Oh my gosh, I forgot. Yeah. You can get a bunch of phones.
Yeah.
On the Wi-Fi network and share their cellular to the Barrel. Yeah, that totally works. Yeah, speed testing, I think on the Barrel right now we can get 600 megabits. I think Kevin's been looking at it. I think he's got some improvements he's trying to get out like today or tomorrow to push that towards 700. So we're going to get there. This thing's just getting faster and faster. And odds are if you're trying to use a router this big, that's probably fast enough. You're probably moving around.
If we're able to get our release out this week, it's going to be another big release before the end of the year. We got another new feature coming. So, yeah, it's going to be a good week.
You can spoil it. What's the big feature, Mike? You've been working
so we
on
added
this forever.
I have. It's been a little bit. So we've brought in the streaming priorities into the user interface. So that means when you have your live streams, we automatically detect those. But those are built in. Those are what we recognize as streams. But now you have the opportunity to input, ports or IP addresses or domains and set those as the highest priority on your system. So whatever you're doing, whether it's a custom URL that we would never detect, you can input it into the user interface, and we will prioritize all of that internet traffic over everything else. So it's going to be really great. It works fantastic. I'm anxious to see how people use it.
Nice. All right. So what's your plans for next year, Mike?
My plan, I'm going to use Swift and ChatGPT to rewrite Speedify and Swift UI. Now hopefully we've been on some legacy code. Hopefully we'll get a chance to update that this year. Just looking forward to a lot of the new technology coming out, and maybe we'll finally get parent share working with Wi-Fi Direct or Bluetooth. So we'll see what 2025 brings. A lot of stuff up in the air.
So I fired up one of these AIs, and I pointed it at the user interface of Speedify, And I said, make a plan to rewrite this in Flutter. And it churned away and churned away and churned away and wrote this whole list of things to do. And I said, okay, how long will this take? And it said 6 months. Stop, escape. I don't have that many tokens. 6
Did it
months.
start?
So, that seemed a bit much.
Claude's lying. Use ChatGPT to be more optimistic.
Yeah. Who knows if it was going crazy there, if it just actually told me the truth.
Yeah, well, you got to get deep. You know, this guy does this, we're gonna do this, and yeah, it's too general for Claude to know.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm gonna let you go, and
All right.
I'll harass Voice Love next.
Thanks, Mike.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Mike.
Bye.
Voice Love.
Hello.
That's
Hey.
a nice sweater.
Oh, thank you very much. Like your sweater as well.
Wait, what was it say? Santa Paws.
Oh yeah, it's Santa
Yeah,
Claus.
of course. Nice. So, what is up with Speedify support? So, Voicelov is the director of support or something. He is the guy in charge of customer support here. And how was your year?
It was a busy year. I mean, Kevin already went through all of the new features we had this year, and all of those new features require new support articles. So we've been busy with creating new support articles for new features and then reworking and improving the old support articles, and also working with Scott on adding videos to those. I think Scott already mentioned that as well. And, new device, OpenWRT routers, a lot of questions coming in, a lot of emails and tickets around that. But despite of the, rising interest and more tickets coming in with more questions, we still managed to improve our resolution time on those. So all around, it was a solid year for the support team.
Nice. I feel like making one of those, Maytag jokes about how being the Speedify support guy must be the loneliest job in the world. No one ever contacts you. I don't know. Maybe I guess you probably didn't have those commercials.
No.
Maytag used to have. They make washing machines. They used to have commercials about how lonely it was being their customer support people because nothing ever goes wrong for their customers. Seems so arrogant. I assume there are a bunch of people with broken Maytags who go insane every time it happens, right? But nice. So, what are you guys planning for next year?
Well, next year we're probably going to work more with Scott on prettying up and organizing our support website and support docs just so it looks better and it's easier to navigate for our users.
Nice. Yeah. It's so tough, right? Because we have all these support docs and we have people on mobile devices, people on Apple devices. Apple says any article we link to from their app cannot mention Android, right? So play that game. And then we have people on desktops, and then we have people on routers, and then we have people just using this for their home, and then people using this for their business, right? And so it's hard to know how to organize the docs and who they should be written for. And you start thinking, well, I should have different support site for the mobile people and the desktop people, and different site for the home people and the business people, and suddenly you have like 8 different websites. That's not good. And then you put it all into one. Some people will always be saying this is talking about stuff I don't care about, right? Thoughts on that? Which way are you going, Voice Love?
I don't know, we'll have to figure it out as we go and just listen to feedback as well. But yeah, it can get messy and tricky unless you lay it all out and take it from there.
Or we could have an AI chatbot that answered everyone's questions.
Yeah, probably.
I think we're good.
Yeah. So we have experimented, right? I mean, we fed all of our support docs into this ChatGPT based bot, and you'd chat with about Speedify. It seemed so smart. It knew all this stuff. But as soon as you said, all right, let's pretend we've, accidentally turned off our Wi-Fi card, you could go on and on with it, and it would never think of me. Like, it never solved any problems for us. So none of you guys have ever seen it. We never took it live because, and you imagine that someone who was less careful would have said, oh, it knows all this stuff about Speedify. Let's put it online. And made it part of our customer support experience, but we're frustrated. It didn't solve any problems, right? We tried to come up with problems and could not get it to solve any of them. So, all right. We have customer support. Here we go. Alan says, my other barrel was 1300 and it had 3 Ethernet ports. I also got a Cootie with 2 SIM cards, only 1 radio, but it has no USB. And I found the USB on the barrels useful for Android sources. Yeah, of course, that's the thing. So GLINet, they make all these nice little routers, but to make them so small, they shrink how much is in them, right? And so every time you get one, you're like, this would be great if I only had 1 more Ethernet port, if it had cellular built in, if it had USB 3. And so everyone seems imperfect, but if you put all of it together, you'd end up with this that has everything, right? It's got the 4 Ethernet ports and the 2 USB ports and a built-in 5G and a built-in 4G. And trust me, I'm not making fun of it. The Miri X510 is an awesome device. And, if you want a rock solid thing that can bond 9 internet connections, this is what you buy. But, people go to GLINet because they make this little thing for $100. It's a router you can carry in your pocket. And that involves sacrifices and giving things up. So you kind of got to think hard about what you need.
Yeah.
So the barrel I have, is the AX, and it only has 2 Ethernet. It only has 1 USB port. I guess the 1 USB port's fine. But I really could use 1 more Ethernet. So, yeah. Alan says, I tend to buy these toys as they're going obsolete. Right. Yeah, I guess there's some new barrel coming out.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi 7
It's
stuff.
going to be green. It's going to be green. You can tell it's better because it's green. So a really interesting thing is about how everything has gone black and white now. All the cars are white. They used to be colored. People don't paint their houses anything but like slightly off-white, right? Like color is just disappearing from our world. It's very sad. People think it's classier to be black and white.
It'll be cyclical, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah. I was a big fan of in 2010 or so, when you were painting a room, you'd have one wall be the accent wall.
Yeah.
And paint it like red or blue, and the rest would be white. I thought that was nice. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a fad. I've had to paint over all my accent walls and just have a white house again. Otherwise, what is this, 2010? I give in to peer pressure very easily, as you all know. All right. I think that's probably it. You got any parting thoughts for us, Voislav?
Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.
Oh, happy holidays. All right. I'm going to let you go. Thanks, Voislav.
Thanks.
All right. So, you guys have any technical questions about Speedify? I mean, this has been a hell of a year, but here we are. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. So about SETI. We were talking about that earlier, the Search for Extraterrestrial Life. And we do talk about it here at the office an awful lot. So one thing I've been thinking about a lot, I don't know if you saw the results. NASA sent a probe up to the Bennu asteroid, grabbed a piece of rock, brought it back, and has been analyzing it. And the analysis just came out. And did you see what they found?
Yeah.
What did they find?
They found some gum-like substance, right?
Yep.
And some, what was it?
Sugar.
Sugar. RNA. Yeah, RNA.
Every building block to make RNA, they weren't strung together as RNA, but every one of the building blocks with sugar and gum. So it turns out if you just take a rock and blast it with radiation for hundreds of millions of years, it forms RNA and sugar. This doesn't just mean there is life somewhere in the universe. It means it is inevitable. Like Thanos. It is inevitable. If you take a rock and blast it with radiation long enough, it will form everything you need to make a living being except liquid water. You just drop that in water, and it just will happen. And, water forms by itself in the vacuum of space, right? These stars are shooting off oxygen and hydrogen, and they hit them with enough radiation that they bond together, and you get water floating around space. It's like, I feel like we now know there is alien life.
There's got to be.
Right? I mean, maybe you knew it before. I thought it was very, very likely. Now I think it just happens. Just happens. It also implies, though, that the alien life is probably less alien, right? I mean, life based on RNA and DNA and liquids and carbon, right? Which can still be pretty alien, right? I mean, octopuses are based on all that, and amoebas and tardigrades.
There's definitely crabs out there, though.
That's what there are crabs in space. Crabs. How many times have crabs evolved?
Something like 6 or something, at least. I don't know.
Like, all those different crabs are not related to each other. It turns out the other place this is true is trees. The different trees, like oaks and elms, the plant that's more closely related to either of those than they are to each other is the strawberry bush. Like, strawberry bushes evolved into elms and evolved into oak trees. They just keep evolving into trees. All right, so we get the following question. So why haven't we heard from them yet? This is as Fermi said, so where is everybody? That's what he actually said, and it became known as the Fermi paradox. Where the heck are these aliens?
I mean, I would think, well, space is big is one thing, one obvious thing. And so obviously, we send Voyager out, and we send it out, whatever, 50 years ago, and now it's one light day away, right?
So far. Yeah. I mean, like, we could do it. Like, you could get something to Alpha Centauri, right?
Yeah.
Voyager was made to go hit all these planets on its way, and of course it was going fast to do that. But, like, we didn't do our best to make the universe's fastest thing. Like, I think if we set our mind to it with strap a bunch of Dragon rockets to each other, I bet we could get something going 100 times faster. And then that's still 200 years to Alpha Centauri, but that's doable. We could do this, right?
Yeah, seems that way.
All right. Is alien gum fruit flavored or minty? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, this is a organic sticky substance. It's frozen solid in space, but apparently it gets soft when you bring it down. But I guess the other question is, so the SETI space telescopes.
Yep.
Right. So they got these huge. You've all seen them in Contact in 2010. The giant radio telescopes. Do they have a chance to pick up alien life?
They do. I mean, so they're listening for a really broad spectrum of they're just listening to radio waves, and they're listening to essentially as wide, as much spectrum as they can, and they're listening for anything that's not background radiation stuff. And so you pick up a lot of interesting things, and you pick up things like solar flares, and you pick up local things that you don't mean to. You pick up people's microwaves and stuff.
Yeah, that was interesting.
and I mean, you also pick up things like supernova. I mean, you pick up things where it's okay. There's this star that is exploding. You will pick it up on those big satellites, I mean, those big telescopes. And so what they're hoping to find is something that's kind of meaningfully doing something that they can't really explain with natural means. That's what they're looking for.
But the thing, so back in the way back in history in the 20th century, yeah, crazy to me, but that is absolutely how a lot of you people see it. I'm old now. We had, TV stations blasting megawatts out into space. Those, that first Olympic broadcast, they fired, millions of watts into this enormous antenna, and there was no direction on it. So most of it went into space. And it was loud enough that if you had pointed a radio at Earth, you would have picked it up from light years away. Which, by the way, the universe is much bigger than that. That's just the local couple star systems. But much as we're using more and more radios today, they're getting harder and harder to detect. We're now using just enough power to get them to who you want to get them to.
Yeah.
Right. So we're using like when I watch TV, it's on my Wi-Fi. It's less than 100 milliwatts to a radio that's also inside my house. Nothing is getting out into space.
Right.
And we're spreading across the whole spectrum. We're using, we're not just blasting out this one UHF, 430 megahertz signal or something. We're all the way up to now just trying to get 6 and 12 gigahertz signals. Our radiation is so spread out.
Yeah. You're doing more and more stuff at highly focused, visual, like you're using lasers and stuff to send. So, yeah, that's not gonna,
And that's not just some accident of history, right? That's us becoming intelligent about how we use the radios. We're using just enough energy to get the signal where we need it.
Yeah.
And any sufficiently advanced society will be even better at that than us.
Right.
They'll be so good at it, right? They won't use any extra energy and they won't use any extra spectrum. And I think they become invisible. Unless they're looking for us. Unless they're looking for us. I mean, of course, an advanced society can point a powerful radio at us and shoot a gigawatt. All right? Enough power to time travel. Right at us, and then we'd pick that up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But if we do,
probably don't want to.
Like, why are they looking for us? Who'd want to talk to us? I don't know. I don't feel like going out to meet Cortez on the beach worked out so well for anybody.
Yeah. Yep. So fingers crossed we don't hear from anybody.
Yeah, that's probably best. All right. Was it this year? It was last year, right? That the giant radio telescope in Puerto Rico collapsed.
I think it was last year. Yeah, it had sort of a long thing, but yeah, I think long sad decline. But I think last year is when it all went in.
That's too bad. So many movies filmed there. Right, Contact was there. One of the James Bond movies, he was there. Just such a cool
Arecibo? Is that what
Arecibo, that was the name of it.
Yeah, it's a cool place. So there's a big radio telescope thing that's like up for auction. I think if you have $30 million, you can buy it if you want. It's like the whole military installation with the big. So I'm hoping the Sci-Fi Channel buys it.
Yeah. I read an interesting interview with the guy who had been hired by them. They gave him $30 million to make them 30 science fiction movies. He was a scrappy dude. Oh, 2020 Arecibo. Yeah. Oh my God. See that? I can never decide whether time is flying by or crawling, right? So imagine the aliens invade us because they can't watch our old TV channels anymore. It's actually pretty good. And then there's the Starlinks. So how is Starlink affecting this whole search for extraterrestrial life?
So I mean, well, I don't know. I haven't read much on that. I mean, visual.
Certainly,
stuff
the
is
astronomers
great,
are complaining, right? But
Yep.
they're taking pictures. It's impossible to take a picture that
That's
you don't
the
catch a Starlink satellite on the bands they use. And actually, they got caught using a band they're not supposed to use. You know, they're just blasting radiation. You know, that 6 gigahertz band. Sure hope the aliens aren't on that, because anytime you point a telescope at space now, you're picking up a Starlink, right? So yeah, it's tough. So they've been talking about, and NASA's planning to put a radio telescope on the far side of the moon. And then what they'll have to do is they'll put a satellite. I think they did already. I think they put the satellite in orbit around the moon, a communication satellite. And so when it whizzes by, the radio telescope will beam up what it found. And then when it comes around the Earth, it'll send back to us what the telescope found. So that should be pretty good because, you know, nothing we do should make it to the far side of the moon. It should be totally quiet there for a little while.
That's the thing. So the astronomers are saying using the far side of the moon that buys us a few years, but you have enough countries that can put satellites around the moon now that's not a long-term fix.
Yeah. Did you ever read the book A City on Mars?
No.
By the Wiener Smiths. No. It's a great book, although it's a little depressing, right? So you know he's the cartoonist who does a Saturday morning breakfast cereal, and she's a real scientist, his wife. And so they wrote this book about what it would take to colonize Mars, and they tried to be cheerleaders, but they come off really negative because they basically can't figure out how to do it, and they become very concerned about countries fighting over the moon. And they make this whole like prisoner's dilemma argument that like you can't get left behind if the other people are settling the moon. What if the moon's really important? And they think there's nothing of any value on the moon, but that won't stop countries from thinking that they must be missing out on the great stuff. Why else would China or the US or whatever be putting people there unless it was super important? So now we have to. And they argue that there's only about 12 spots on the moon that are interesting at all. Yeah. There's like the highest mountain, there's the deepest valley, there's the South Pole, there's the North Pole. There's the one really smooth area where you can land, right? They have a list of the places and like these are the only interesting places on the moon. The rest is just rocks. And they're like, you know, everybody's going to try to grab those places once the race starts. And I don't know. Interesting. Good book. Probably loan it to you. All right. Anything else? We didn't talk about Speedify too much here. Well,
we talked about it for the first 35 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I need that telescope to find my keys 4 times a week. Yeah. I've been misplacing my phone. I don't ever since I upgraded to the iPhone 17, I'm like leaving it places and walking out. I never did that with my old phone. I've had to use Find My iPhone like twice this week, and I went years without using it before. I don't know what it is. A little bigger or something.
Weird.
I don't know. But that's just me. All right, so you guys should check out, since we're about to end here, YouTube. We have a lot of shorts. Us talking about using Claude to write Python and Rust. Talk about the missing IPv5 protocol. It's IPv4, IPv6. What happened to IPv5? I found out. There's Brian's favorite video. IPv4 addresses are worth more than gold. And also, if you haven't bought yet, check out Speedify.com. We've got the season of savings. All kinds of discounts on there. Huge savings. All right. So many telescopes are looking forward to constant streaking of Starlink satellite in their field of view. Yes. Yeah. they crossed 8,000, right?
I think so. Yep.
There's now 8,000 Starlink satellites. And, classically, so now Amazon's launching theirs, and China's launching theirs, the 10,000 sales or whatever. So you these right. It's what the Wiener Smiths were talking about. You can't get left behind. If everyone else is putting up satellites, there must be a reason for it. So you've got to put out satellites too. And these, so many. My understanding is these days, at least Starlink is good about space junk. That they're very careful that everything they put up comes back down. The rocket comes back down. But when the satellites are done, when they reach 5 years old, or if they have malfunction, they send themselves right back towards Earth. And they've been, I mean, people wonder what is burning all this aluminum in the upper atmosphere do? But at least they're not leaving junk around. People are saying that, like, the Chinese are leaving, entire rocket stages in these weird orbits, and they don't leave thrusters on them, so they're just going to do what they're going to do. Holy cow, update. There are currently 9,355 Starlink satellites. 2026, the year we hit 10,000 Starlinks.
Yep.
On the other hand, it's working pretty well these days. I mean,
Yes.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of dropouts. A year ago they were pretty bad, and I was like, how could you use this without Speedify? And obviously Speedify still helps, but they're not nearly as terrible as they used to be. So, All right, I think I'm just babbling now. So, thank you everybody. Check out the videos on YouTube under Speedify. IP addresses worth their weight in gold. His neighbor's favorite video. How can you not love it? Check out Speedify.com if you didn't buy Speedify yet. The prices are not ever going to be as low as this again. So it's all good. So happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate, we're there with you. All right. Thanks, Brian. Thanks to everybody who tuned in, both in the audience and our many, many guests. It's awesome. So see you all online.